Take centre stage this week in Parliament, in court, and of course on the country streets. And this is today. Cash in transit guards will embark on protest action to highlight what they call an industry in crisis. Our senior reporter Chriselda Lewis is at the march, at least the Joburg leg of it, in the Johannesburg CBD, and we're going to cross live to her now. Chriselda, good morning, and do tell us exactly where you are and what the turnout is like and what are people saying right now.
Well, a very good morning to you, Sakina. At least here in the Johannesburg leg of this march by workers in the cash in transit sector, hundreds of them have already arrived here in the Johannesburg CBD. You can see they've gathered here behind me to highlight what they say is an industry that is in crisis. They're calling for government to assist in what we've seen over the past couple of months, a spate of cash in transit heists that have rocked the country and have really sent shockwaves, a reminder of how violent these cash in transit heists are in the country. The numbers quite alarming since the start of this year already, the highest number that we've seen in this country since the start of these attacks on cash in transit vehicles. And these hundreds of guards have taken to the streets, not just here in Johannesburg, but in quite a number of areas around the country, are saying they need government's intervention. And I think certainly, Sakina, what has also highlighted this, you'd recall, there have been many questions by South Africans on where these explosives and this heavy ammunition is coming from that allows these attackers to so brutally attack these guards with heavy machinery. And SABC News, of course, yesterday also highlighting something that you played on your program a bit earlier on, highlighting that, in fact, we've given some credence to the fact that some of these explosives that are used in these cash in transit heists and ATM bombings do come from the mines. That exclusive that the SABC did an investigation into explosives that were obtained on Gauteng's East Rand, and these illegal miners who sold them to the SABC, indicating that they're sourced from underground. But today here, you've got hundreds of these guards saying they want some kind of intervention to happen. Their lives are at risk. We saw a story done by my colleague Mangoba Mchunu. Some of these guards themselves saying that they fear that when they go to work in the morning, they may not come back home. They believe some of the placards that you would see here, I'd ask my colleague Gabi and Jokweni just to have a look. Some of these placards here are saying MTWU, that's the Motor Transport Workers Union, fighting for workers' rights. And some of those placards also here saying, without us, South Africa is cashless. And I think that certainly highlights what these workers are trying to do here today, to say that the work that they are doing is very important. And you'd recall that a large percentage of the cash that is transported in this country is done so via these cash in transit vehicles. Let me chat now to the General Secretary of the Motor Transport Workers Union, Ndate Mdumiseni Mabaso. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Ndate Mabaso, this is quite an important day for you within the sector, for workers to highlight their plight, isn't it?
Yes, you are quite correct. Today we want to show to the country, we want to show to the public that without the cash in transit, you cannot live. You can't live without money. But we can't accept the robberies that have been taking place. Everything has gone out of hand. Hence today the march, we are taking it to the MAC of Gauteng, different places, even in KZN, in Cape Town. So we are all over.
What exactly is the message that you want to send to government? I know you've been calling for some kind of intervention. What is that clear message? I know here in Johannesburg you'll be handing over a memorandum of demands to the Community Safety MEC here in Gauteng.
First of all, the most important thing that we want these trucks that carries money to be regulated. They should meet a certain standard to be able to transport the money. We want the intervention of the government, because currently everything has been left to the employer. We also are demanding that these trucks should be able to use the emergency line. We're demanding that these trucks should have some blue lights. We are demanding that these trucks cannot be stuck on the traffic, because if they are stuck on the traffic, that's where we get to be attacked. We are also demanding manpower from the employers. We are also demanding the police visiting, the visibility of police, the response of the police. We want the speed reaction of the police. We want more ammunition. So you can't have an Oringo or a 38 versus an AK-47. We want the government, the Reserve Bank to be, because the Reserve Bank is giving money to these employers to transport money, but they don't care what means of transport are they using. And they are carrying millions. Without the cash in transit, you can't live. So those are the issues that we are also demanding. We are also demanding the intelligence. Yes. Because in the previous, what we used to have is whenever there was a robbery that is going to take place, we used to have the information from the intelligence. But currently, they seem to have lost it. So we also want to meet with the Minister of Police, which we have also got an invitation to the Crime Forum, where we are going to participate and deal with all these robberies. We are very much worried about the recent explosive. We're also demanding that the employers, they should arm their vehicles. The type of ammunition is no longer the one that we want. In the previous, even if the roof is blown off, you would not see the money exposed. But right now, they have left all the electronic system. And this is only profit-driven interest.
All right. You're saying profit-driven interest. Just to wrap it up there, Mr. Mabaso, unfortunately, on Morning Live, we don't have much time. But the SABC also did an exclusive story yesterday showing how easy it is to get these explosives. And the illegal miner who we bought these explosives from tells us that they source them from the mines in Gauteng and other parts of the country. Let me first of all get your reaction to that, because that certainly fans these cash in transit heists.
Yes, that's quite shocking, because we have been investigating, where we've been wondering where are these explosives coming from. So it simply tells you that the resources that are supposed to be used at the mining are now the ones that are being used to blow these people. I can tell you now, it has just gone up. From last year, up to this time, we had 147 robberies, but for this year, January to now, we had 157, and most of those are done through explosive. So it's quite interesting to hear that, and we want the government to attend to such. Obviously, there are some syndicates that are dealing with those issues, because explosive would not simply come out of mine. So obviously, there are people that are connected. We want the investigation to go deeper into those certain areas.
Tatem Dumiseni Mabaso, thank you very much for your time. The General Secretary of the Motor Transport Workers Union, just one of the unions that are participating in this march here today, handing over a memorandum of demands to the Gauteng Community Safety MEC here in Gauteng. But this march, of course, in several other parts of the country to highlight the scourge that they say is very dangerous attacks on these workers within the cash in transit sector. Back to you for now.
Well, thank you so much to Chriselda Lewis there. As she says, that's just the Joburg leg, and there are more marches across the country.
Yeah.
And placard that stood out there at the back, you know, killing our brothers for money. And one would have hoped that the employers would have actually, you know, been a part of this particular initiative.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That march will be followed throughout the day by SABC News, so do stay tuned to Channel 404. Thank you for watching.